What up? What up? I got a question for y'all. Do y'all think love in relationships is transactional, or do y'all think love in relationships is pure? I always ask this question because when I was younger, so once I hit like puberty and I started liking girls and started to want to date and get into relationships, I viewed relationships and dating as a pure experience, to where somebody was going to love me for me and I was going to love them for them, and it would never be about what I could do for them or what they could do for me. It was simply two people wanting to love and be affectionate to each other and build a life together. And I really felt that even as a young kid. You know, I would fall in love with every girl that I dated, even for 2 weeks. My friends would roast the shit out of me for doing this. Or they would be like, yo, you just met that bitch. And I'm already like, oh, I love her. I see a future with her. Like, I really felt that. And now we've gotten to a point where, I will be honest here. I think that if we go back to like my great grandparents up until my generation, I do believe that my generation, the millennials, was the last of the Mohicans of just like any sense of pure dating. Because I will say that now that I'm an adult and now that I have a ton of experience in relationships and heartbreak, I look back and I think, well, yeah, it wasn't so much transactional as it is today, but girls were using me for certain things, you know? I remember I was dating this girl in high school and we were in this class together, and it was towards the end of the day, and I stayed back because, you know, we used to stay back after class and she would walk me to my car. You know, we would kiss, hug, and I would go. Well, we was in the class and the teacher that was in that class asked her just randomly. I don't even know. I guess the teacher found out we were dating and she was just like, you guys are all cozy, you know, whatever the fuck. And we were like, we talk, or we, you know, whatever. And she was like, you know what? I actually have an exercise for you guys. And she says, I want you to name, she wanted her to name like 3 things she liked about me. And she wanted me to say 3 things I liked about her. So when she asked the girl, what are 3 things you like about him? She says, his car, he's cool, and I like the way, and he's funny. So his car, he's cool, and he's funny. And to this day, I remember that moment so vividly because it just never struck me that girls would want to invest in me because of what I got. I thought that she purely liked me. Now, I knew I was cool in high school. So like everybody knew me. So I knew there was like a popularity angle there. I understood that. But I always felt like they would see that initially and then get to know me and be like, nah, I just love him. Like, yes, he's popular, but I love him, you know? I say all that to say that in my generation, we had just got on the verge of social media. We had like MySpace, but you did not have this worldwide access to people. It was kind of like within your community. So yes, girls were not so privy to what other resources guys had, you know? So it was an interesting angle back in my day. I sound old as shit, but back in my day, it's kind of like it was a little more pure. Now, fast forward to 2026, right? Now, it is yo, to hear women say, I need a man that makes this amount of money a year to be with me is extremely disheartening. And hey, not because I'm not in that tax bracket. If I was in that tax bracket, I would feel so discouraged to find a true partner in life if I didn't have her before the fame. See, like, you know what? We talk so much shit about certain celebrities and their wives because maybe their wives aren't as pretty as the superstar actresses and you see that they could be with someone else. But we look at that, but you got to understand, the biggest blessing you can ever have in life when you really get some money is to already have a chick that was with you when you had nothing. She just seen the potential. She saw something in you, you know? So now, 2026, women are literally saying like, he got to make 100,000 just to be with me. Now, understand what that would do to a young man's mind. See, you a little bit older, you can understand. Okay, cool. So the lifestyle come first for her. And if I want to do that, then I need to understand that, okay, she bringing something to the table too, because I see that she either a beautiful woman and I want a beautiful woman, or you know what, I ain't really looking for marriage and nothing serious. So I got somebody that I can, this is a business arrangement. But understand what that do to a young man's mind. And they're thinking how I was thinking when love is love. So they see that and it does something to you. You got to understand what it's doing to society is causing men to think transactionally. And I think that women have always used men for their resources. Women don't want a bum. They never wanted that. So I understand women already kind of love opportunistically, but understand a young man's mind to be like, oh, I got to make, okay, so I just got to make a ton of money to even have like a beautiful woman. Beauty equals, I got to pay for that. That's why I even told my homeboy, it's a hoes and trick society. It's the tricks and the hoes. You know, it used to be pimping. It's all about pimping, getting the money out there. You know what I'm saying? Like it used to be that. And then it's like hoes and tricks now. So you have to be a trick to get a beautiful woman. And understand what that's doing to society, that's causing us to steer away from any semblance of purity and love. And now it's solely for the interest of a man to make a ton of money so that he can have a beautiful woman. And understand, I'm trying to drive that point home because understand that I didn't mention a quality woman, because most of these beautiful women that want a man to make a certain amount, so they want the money, their attitude is terrible. They can't cook. They're not going to clean because they're like 100,000. Like, we'll just get it made. They're not looking to add to your lifestyle. They're looking to be in a situation where it's like, hey, you're welcome. I'm here. Like, provide for me, do these things for me. And it's hard to, man, I don't think women understand this, and I don't think society understand how truly difficult it is to find a quality woman. And even when you find a quality woman, she either got a whole past or she got trauma and things going on. You really got to work with that person. But she'll be a quality woman in the sense that she's like, look, the money, like, yes, I want a certain lifestyle, but I'm not gluttonous. Like, I don't want the world. I just would like just a nice house, a nice car, and I just want to have a family and the kids are okay. And I want to be a mom and I want to be a wife and I want to love my husband. Like, when she just has those qualities, yo, that's a quality woman. You do not see that. I'm telling you, it's probably, man, I remember me and my homeboys going back and forth about this. I said, man, that's like 1 in 10 women. He said 1 in 10? That's 10%. You're saying 10% of women are quality? No, 1 out of 20. He was saying like 5%. Cause you know how like when you listen to these red pill platforms, they'll say 1% of the population is, rich men. 1% of the population. So if you make over 500,000, you 1% or whatever. He was saying it's the same for women, that a high quality woman is 1%. Now, granted, he could have been talking about maybe, I'm at the gym, I'm trying to find parking, so don't mind me. But he could have been saying 1% if she's not a hoe, you know, religious, wants the family, feminine, submit, all these things. I was just saying, cause you're not gonna find no virgins out here. Sorry, they don't exist. That's that less than 1%. You know, forget that. We're saying just a quality woman. Doesn't care about an extravagant lifestyle, cause that's not really what life's about, right? Like, life's not about that shit. You know, I think if a woman wants an extravagant lifestyle, I think you should question what the root of her character is, honestly. Because any quality woman I've ever met, and I haven't met many, they do not care about fancy things and extravagant lifestyle. They want a family. They just want their kids to be okay. They want their husband to be okay. They want to be wives and just have a life that's fulfilling to them, you know. And listen, it's not just about women, anybody in general that wants a extravagant lifestyle, the character of that person I have to question, because I want to know, what would it gain a man to want the world? Then what? So at the core, what's important to you as a person, you know? I don't want to get off track, and I don't want to go deep into, you know, desire and the root is, like, what do they say? Desire is the root of all suffering. I have a video on that. If you want to go on my channel and check it out, like, I deep dive into that and kind of explain that more. That's more of like a more like compound breakdown. But yeah, man, I just want to express my thoughts on society and how these things are going. But yeah, man, so fuck with y'all.